Hello and welcome to Joy in Our Town. We are so happy you've joined us today, that you've tuned into this program, because we've got a great program for you. And we're going to be talking today, by the way, I am Arlena Valero, your host. And we are going to be talking about drugs and alcohol and how they affect our society here in Maricopa County in the Phoenix area. And the second program, the second issue we're going to cover in the second part of the program is eating disorders, which we know is a very serious problem here in our valley and probably throughout the world. And here with me to do this is a very dear lady that I've had the honor to meet, and her name is Janice Hicks. Welcome, Janice.
Hi, Arlena.
So happy to have you.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. It's my pleasure as well.
Well, great. I want you to tell our viewing audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
First of all, I am an ordained minister.
Awesome.
And I've been in the ministry for several years now. And I'm also the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called the Yes Organization Incorporated. And the acronym YES stands for Youth Education in Schools.
And isn't it a nonprofit organization?
It is a nonprofit organization. It's focused on our youth, which is a passion of mine. I really care about what's going on in our schools concerning our children, as well as in our families and households. Mm-hmm. And I'm also a writer. Out of my passion for the children, I've written a book called Skeleton in the Closet, and it's scheduled to be released very soon, towards the end of this year. And it speaks about our children and the effects that affect our children.
How it affects our children with these terrible eating disorders.
Yes, yes.
Wow, well, that's why I'm so excited that you could come so that we can talk about that for the second topic, the eating disorders and how it is affecting our youth as well as even adults that are involved in this.
Yes, it is.
And also, but we're going to start off and we're going to cover alcoholism and drugs and how that's affecting our society here. Mm-hmm. So why do you believe that our youth is over drinking and drinking so much?
A lot of it, Orlena, is peer pressure. Peer pressure,
yes.
The need to give in to pressure, to fit in, to not be an outcast. Peer pressure is a really strong force that drives a person to go against their own will. So a lot of it is that. A lot of it is the environment that they live in. And sometimes it's so easily accessible, sometimes right in the home. They have access to it. Society makes alcohol appear to be acceptable.
When it really shouldn't
yes,
be.
It's a social acceptable thing to do. Social drinking is a social drink, it's a casual drink, and they are not aware of the effects that it have on them. It's just everybody's doing it. My mother do it, my daddy do it, so it has to be okay. And they learn by behavior. It's a learned behavior. And without realizing the consequences that it has on their own lives. Even the parents sometimes are not aware of what they're doing. And I also know that, you know, sometimes in our home, we raise our children. You have a baby, the baby is crying, and old wives' tales. I don't know if you've heard it, Orlena. Just give the baby a little bit of gin in their bottle and they'll go to sleep, you know. So sometimes it's an inherent something that they're born with.
That they've seen their parents do, and maybe they did to them.
Yes, and it's hereditary. I know that I used to take care of children, and I wondered what it was that I was smelling all the time. I fed this baby all the time, and I was, what is that smell? It smells like alcohol. And sometimes when mothers breastfeed, the alcohol that they consume is in the breast milk.
Yes, well, whatever we consume
yes,
comes
it's in
out
the
of
it's in the breast milk. So these children are born sometimes not even knowing why they have an intense desire for alcohol.
And drugs.
And
because
drugs
some of
as
the mothers,
well.
God bless them, you know, they get stuck on drugs, and
Yes.
they're blessed that they even have normal children,
Yes.
huh? Because it is a very dangerous thing.
It's a very, very dangerous thing. Yes, it is. And so we have to be conscious of how we live our lives among our children and let them know about the consequences that they are confronted with if these behaviors continue.
And the dangers.
Yes, it's very
because
dangerous.
of drunk driving. And I know that Arizona has very, very strict laws on drinking and driving.
Yes.
Do you have any information on
I have
that?
some information that I would like to share with you, Orlina,
Yes.
and the audience. You know, these alarming statistics. Okay, you want some scary statistics on alcohol with our young people? Well,
Yes.
every 22 minutes, someone dies in an alcohol-related motor vehicle accident.
Every 22 minutes.
Every 22 minutes. And perhaps most horrible of all this disproportionately high number of those deaths and accidents come in the age of 15 years old to 24 years old. So we have to be responsible and be aware of the dangers of alcohol. And 1 out of 10 children ages 12 and 13 use alcohol at least once a month.
Wow, 12?
12 years and 13 years old.
My goodness.
And what's even worse...
That's so underage.
Yes,
they
it
say
is.
21 anyway.
12
my
years
goodness.
old. 12 years old use alcohol at least once a month. It's alarming. It's alarming.
That is alarming.
And in a single year, 522 children under age 14 are arrested for driving while intoxicated.
And they're
522.
driving, and they're not even supposed to be driving yet.
Yes,
they're
under
14.
age 14 are arrested
goodness.
for driving while intoxicated. Of the 522, Orlina, 113, now hold on to your seats. 113 of them are under age 10.
My.
And you can find this is research on the website and at www.firsteagle.com.
Firsteagle.com.
Yes.
So it's a reputable website that shares these statistics.
But wait a minute, I'm not done yet.
Wow.
70% of all teenagers drink alcohol. 70%. 60% of all teen deaths,
60
of teen deaths and car accidents are alcohol related.
Even if it wasn't them, but somebody else drinking and causing an accident.
No, this is teen deaths.
Actually, the teen drinking. Wow.
60%.
That's amazing. My goodness, so we truly have a problem out there.
Yes, we do.
With alcohol and, and drug abuse.
Yes.
My goodness. So
alarming, isn't it?
It's really alarming.
How many people know that?
I know, I don't think they do. But the peer pressure, don't you think with maybe, because not every home, you know, would want their children to drink, but do you think it's peer pressure that's number one in the youth's life, in our teenagers' lives?
I believe it
young
is.
People, because you're even saying under 10.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes, yes. I believe it is. Peer pressure is really a strong force. If it's strong for us, adults, it's even stronger for them who don't have the years of experience that we have to resist the temptation. They want to belong. They want to have friends.
Yes.
It's important to them.
They want to feel accepted, don't they?
It's no fun to be alone and to be a cast out. So with that in mind, it's a very strong force to be reckoned with, peer pressure.
My goodness. So, and hereditariness, I mean, being hereditary, is that a big influence?
It is. Heredity and the environment.
Yeah, because of the parent and what they were grown up with. And
it's a lot of times it's a generational thing. It's a generational thing. I learned with the help of the Lord, I also learned that from seeing my own family and within my own family, a relative, a very dear relative of mine who died from sclerosis of the liver. That's a disease that eats up the liver.
From too much alcohol.
Too much alcohol.
Yes.
Not to drink. There's not too many households that doesn't have somebody that hasn't had an influence or an impact on their life. So when she passed away from sclerosis of the liver, she had passed all of her, what is it that eats her liver?
Yeah.
You know, she had passed all of her liver through her bowels.
It went,
She had no liver left.
so it actually like ate it all up.
Yes, yes,
oh
it did.
my goodness.
That was enough for me.
Wow, to say no way, I don't want this.
Yeah, and it's such a strong, intoxicating thing, such a habit to break, even with the knowledge that if she stopped drinking, she would live longer. For a while, it's okay. The shock, the reality, I'm going to die, only lasted momentarily before the influence and the effects of the alcohol drew her back. That she couldn't resist it, and she drank it till she had nothing left.
Wow.
To me, that was
sad.
a sobering
thought.
reality.
And reality, not just a thought. You actually walked through that. My goodness.
Yeah.
So kids drink and people drink, and also, don't you believe it's to cover pain? Of course, peer pressure, but people have a lot of pain and a lot of hurt inside, and they do that, don't you think?
I totally agree. It numbs them for a moment.
They think, yes.
It numbs them for a moment. It takes away the hurt. It takes away the pain. It makes them sleep, you know, until the next day.
Right, and then they're up and facing themselves again.
The demons all over again.
Yes.
Yes.
So what kind of help is out there, Janice, for these people?
Well,
there's a lot of places, isn't there, that they could get help and get delivered from alcohol or drug abuse, isn't there?
well, fortunately for our young people, we have what we call safe ride programs.
Save what?
Safe.
Oh, safe.
Yes, safe rides program.
Oh, safe rides program. Oh.
And
that's if they do drink, they could call this and they'll get a ride?
What's influential is sometimes children relate to people their own age. Since we're talking about peer pressure, there are also programs out there that are organized and influential because they're run by children. So we have a program called SADD, S-A-D-D, Students Against.
Wow, not just
drunk driving.
MADD, but students.
Students Against Drunk Driving.
Isn't that great?
I think it's fantastic.
That's great.
So this program is formulated where children and parents can be affected together in the household. So they draw up a contract.
Wow.
And the contract is called the Contract for Life. The Contract for Life is the preservation of their life. Let's do something to save your life, a contract for life. So they sign a contract, this contract is drawn up, and they agree not to ask any questions, not to be condescending. You're out there drunk, you know, find your own way home or something like that. But, you know, they can draw up this contract and it's agreed upon that if I can't drive, I could call my mother or my father and they will agree to come and pick them up.
Which, you know, sometimes at that point, be glad that your child is calling to have you help instead of running them to the ground for what they did. They already know they did wrong, but thank God they didn't get behind the wheel or get with someone else behind the wheel and drive home. I think that is awesome.
It is
That's
awesome.
great.
Awesome.
Very good.
Yeah, so
So they come in and help the family to work through this, and hopefully in the meantime, that child will start making better choices and
before
do things. Correct.
It's too late.
Right.
A lot of times these programs are after the fact. In hindsight, a lot of these programs come after somebody is dead.
Wow.
And
But this
then
is so good.
they put these programs in the name of a deceased person who's already gone.
Oh.
But we want to be out there for awareness.
Right,
now,
to help them
to lower these
before.
statistics.
Yes,
Yes.
that is so good.
10 years old,
10.
behind the wheel.
What are these kids? I mean, I
10
can't believe they even get the keys to a car.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And I had some more statistics.
Okay, we just have another minute, so
All right,
because
another
we gotta,
minute.
yeah, because we're going to go to the next
All
part of
right,
the
all
program.
right, all
Can you
right.
believe how fast the time goes?
No,
Anyway,
yes.
go ahead and just share a couple more with us real
Our
quick.
Governor Janet
Neapolitano.
Neapolitano, and the Arizona Underage Drinking Prevention Committee are raising awareness that to make the children know that they are underage drinking is not
Acceptable.
a rite of passage.
Wow.
Not a rite of passage.
Good.
Alcohol permanently damages a young person's developing brain. The brain is already developing.
Yes, it kills blood. Doesn't it kill our cells, our
Yes.
good cells? Yes.
And we adults, Orlina,
Us too.
we
Yes.
have more of an influence than we are aware of. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. My goodness, this has been so good. Janice, thank you for doing all this research and bringing it to us for our Maricopa County, Phoenix area. I really appreciate it. We get to cover the whole state. We're so blessed that we could come into your homes and share this great information with you. And we want to be a help, and we hope we are. And I know that we want to give you information how to get a hold of Janice so that you, if you have any questions or you want to find out some of the websites she was talking about, you can get it through her. And she's with the YES organization, which stands for Youth Education and
Schools.
Schools. Okay, awesome. And schools. Okay, and her email is Alhandra O. Reed at gmail.com. So you could also email her all the questions you may have. And her website is also Alhandra O. Reed. And Alejandra, is it Alla or just Alhandra?
Alejandra.
Yeah.
Alejandra.
ALEJANDRA O. Reed at blogspot.com. And that's your website.
Yes, it is.
And I know that you have a lot of good information and you're building
Yes, I
that
do.
every day.
Yes, I do.
So that is great. So I hope that you will go to that website and that you will get whatever you need, the information that we shared today. Now, we're going to talk about eating disorders. And I
Yes.
know that you've written a book on this and
Yes.
you've done a lot of research.
Yes, I have.
So bless you for that, because we truly are in a very serious state of this anorexia and bulimia disorder in our precious young ladies.
Yes, Orlina.
Girls as well as even women that have this
Yes.
problem. And I believe, don't you believe it's from a lot of just maybe not respecting ourselves or not
Yes,
feeling
it
accepted
is.
because of what the media shows us we should look like? Or what is the problem?
Well,
out
the
here?
problem is you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
That one little word, media. Media is but before I even get to the media, it's not only our little girls,
Right.
and it's not only women, but it's also our boys.
Yeah, a lot of young men now,
yes,
huh?
yes, men as well. Men as well. It's for some reason a lot of focus is on the young ladies, but it's also males as well. But the media plays a #1 role in how they think we should perceive ourselves.
Oh, help us, Lord.
And you see rail thin models on the runway. Interestingly
Literally
enough,
rail thin.
Yes,
I mean, there's
rail
like
thin.
nothing there.
you can see their shoulder blades.
Yes.
There's supposed to be a program out there now that does not allow models to be on the runway when they look like that. They're trying to tone it down some.
Good.
But when I was doing my research, Orlina, and I was reading about this program where the models are not supposed to be allowed to be on the stage if they're under a certain weight. At the end of this research, it said who's going to be watching the people who's supposed to be watching the people who are too thin? But here we are today, almost 2 years later, and the problem has not gone away.
No.
Hardly at all, if any. And it's the media. We have people saying, well, children are too big and they're obese. They can have diabetes problems and things like that. But yet on the other end, you see magazine articles, television, everywhere. You can see it in the videos. They're thin. You can see it in, like I said, the runway models. You can see them on the shows. You can see them everywhere. Everybody's super, super thin. And they want to be looked at and glamorized. The media glamorize too thin people. You know, you're not beautiful if you're not thin.
I don't even know where this came in, because many years back, if you were too thin, you looked like you were in poverty.
Yes.
And it was good to have meat on your bones.
It was good. They said that you were voluptuous. You know, you were statuesque. You know,
That you had money because you could afford to buy food.
Yes, yes. But now I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. It's really a sickness.
Yes, well, it is a true fact that there's a lot of obesity, and I believe that has to do with our fast food restaurants, a lot of grease, and we're not eating as healthy as we used to, but I think we're getting back to that, don't you?
I do.
But the serious problem of this eating disorder, you know, and I know it's bulimia and anorexia, right? Are the
Bulimia.
two main
Yes.
problems where our precious young ladies are really going through the purging. Bulimia is purging, correct?
Yes, it is.
And anorexia is?
Is like starving yourself.
Right.
Not
Wow.
eating. The effects is detrimental.
Right.
It could be fatal. It eventually can be fatal.
We know some people that have died from
we know
that.
famous people that have
Yeah,
died.
Karen Carpenter's one of them, that beautiful voice of an angel.
Yes, and a very famous model not too long ago. They are striving to be a model, but look at the model that are actually dying. Yes, they don't show you behind the scenes how they have to put in hair weaves and extensions because their hair is falling out from starving themselves.
Yes, thinning hair or purging, because that also strips the joints and bones. And
not only that, Orlena, when they purge themselves, stick their fingers down their throat, their esophagus is destroyed. The acid from the constant upchucking destroys the voice box. If you ever listen to some of these people on TV, listen and pay attention to their voice. Maybe 2 years or even a year ago, 6 months ago, how their voice is changing. It's because they purged themselves so much. The voice box is actually, their voice has changed. The throat is ruined. And yes, and the heart is weakened. Every major function in your body is eventually destroyed. Your kidneys, your bladder, a woman's menstrual cycle is changed. What about if you ever desire to have a child? Your ability or inability to have birth,
lowers,
pregnancy.
you risk it.
Yeah, pregnancy not being carried to full term. If you're young, however, you know, you may not be able to have children at all because your reproductive organs are destroyed permanently.
Through this kind of anorexia
Because
bulimia.
and then they have this phobia where one of these diseases, anorexia or bulimia, I can't recall which one it is, where it's a disease, and actually they will never be able to see themselves at a normal weight, no matter what.
Even if they are really thin, they always feel fat.
They will always look in the mirror and they will see themselves fat. Yes.
Wow.
And
How
so
sad.
it is very sad, very sad.
My goodness. So some of the physical effects of anorexia and bulimia would be extreme weight